Hey everybody, this is Jim and you're watching Vendor Corner. This is show number 24. Brought to you by Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot, located at 502 West Brennan Road, Lakeland, Florida, 33813. What is Vendor Corner? Vendor Corner is a show to learn about being a vendor, maybe an owner at a shop like Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. We have 53 vendors here, all unique, all doing different things. And we talk about the ups and downs of being a vendor and what it's like to be in a mall like Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. Okay, today's topics are going to be topics from the bag. This is a series that we've been doing where we have a bag and we were given topics by our vendors and by our customers. And we reach into the bag, we pull it out, and we talk about it. So let's see what today's topic holds. We're going to do a couple of these, maybe more than that if we have enough time. Okay, well, this is a common one. How do you source items and what are you willing to pay for those? So it's kind of two. Let's talk about the sourcing first. First of all, I source differently from everybody else. I generally stay away from estate sales and auctions. Most of mine are through yard sales and word of mouth. But there's different ways. You know, you can go to auctions, you can go to estate sales, you can go to yard sales, you can get family and friends to donate you stuff. All sorts of different ways to source. We do a little bit of estate buyouts here at Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. So there's lots of different ways to do it. And then I guess the second part of that is what are you willing to pay? Now, this is just my philosophy. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong way, but I deal in thirds. So if I think I can get, if somebody comes to me and they want to give me an item or sell me an item or whatever, and I think I can get $90 for that item, then I'm willing to pay 30 for it. And everybody says, well, that's extremely low. You'll never get anything. And it's true. It does turn some people off, but let me explain my system in that. So if the item's going to sell for $90 and I pay 30 for it, then they get 30 right then and there, okay? And then it costs me 30 to sell it. That's kind of how I think about it. When I bring an item in, I pay rent just like everybody else. So that item's going to cost me rent. It costs me time to clean it. Costs me, money to tag it and price it. So I kind of want to get, that covered. So that's why I deal in thirds. So if the item is going to sell for 90, then I'm going to pay a third of it for that. And within that gray third, it allows me to discount too. So if the item sits around, maybe I over evaluated how quickly it would sell, and now I've had it for a while and I need to get rid of it. If it's at 90, I can drop it to 45, 50% off. And, with the percentages that the shop takes, I might be breaking even at that time, but I can get my money back and I can move on to the next thing. So that's what I do. So I deal in thirds and I tell people straight up, I say, it's worth $90. I'm going to give you 30 for it. And they're like, wow, you're giving me 30 and you're making 60. And I'm like, no, I'm not making 60. You're making 30 today. The money I might make, it might take a while. It could take up to a year. And then, so that's what I tell them. And most of the time it works. Now, do I hard stick on the 30? No. Sometimes if I think I can sell the item readily and quickly, I will go up more. I'll go to 50%. I'll give them 50%. And then, hopefully I can sell it quickly and make, get that 90 right back out of it. And I've only paid 45, so I'm making 45 minus the fees in a little bit. So, it really depends on the item itself, but generally I deal in thirds. All right, let's go on. We got enough time to do maybe a couple more. Here we go. Next one up is, oh wow, this is a big one. This is kind of broad. Vendor ethics. Being an ethical vendor. What would that include? I guess that we'll start off. It would include following all the rules by the shop. So if the shop has a bunch of rules, you need to follow them. It would, I guess, it would include if a new vendor comes in and they're underpriced, maybe helping them price their stuff instead of buying their stuff and then turn around and selling it. We frown upon that here at Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. It's not a rule in our contract, but yeah, we don't want anybody, when a new vendor comes in, or even if an old vendor has something underpriced that they're not aware of. Each person has their own little niche. And so when somebody brings a collectible in, perhaps I know more. If I see that collectible out there and it's well underpriced, I don't buy it and turn around and sell it. I go to them and I say, look, that's underpriced. It should be this. I can change a tag for you if you want me to, or you can do that yourself. Or if they say, no, I'm happy with that, I only paid a quarter for it. And I said, well, do you mind if I buy it? And, usually I only buy for my personal collection. I still have, I don't feel right buying it and turn around and selling it and trying to make money off of them. So that's just my thing. In fact, recently we had a benefit yard sale and somebody brought in some Funko Pops and quite a few of them. And again, I do a lot with collectibles. I knew the value of them. And I just kind of sweated it. I couldn't figure out what to do. Do I buy them and then turn around and sell them in the shop? And then that collector who was nice enough to give them to us for the benefit comes in and sees them and says, hey, what's the deal? You bought those? And, or maybe they don't say anything. They think I just took them out of the benefit yard sale before. I don't know. I struggled with it. I got really lucky because the next day another collector came in who deals in Funko Pops, not here, not a vendor here, and I was able to sell them I said, I'll make you a deal on, but you got to buy them all. So I kind of knew what they would fetch for at the yard sale, just random ones, and so I said, you got to buy them all, and they bought them all, and that helped out. But back to ethics. I don't know. That weighs on me. I couldn't take something that somebody had given me for a benefit and turn around and purchase it, because are you purchasing it for the right value? Are you purchasing it for less? All that. So back to being an ethical vendor, I guess following the rules, being polite and courteous. Don't come in when you're working on your booth and take your stuff and block somebody else's booth. Just follow the rules and I guess do what you would want done to you. Ethics, vendor ethics. If you guys have anything to add, you can put it in the comments down below. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll wrap up the show for tonight. All right, what do we got here? Here we go. I guess this would go to everybody. How to increase customer traffic. Okay, so here's how I feel about that. Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot is a business amongst itself, and it does its own social media. We don't do much in the way of print ads. Most of what we do is social media, and that's where our paid advertisement money goes, into social media. But we are a collection of 53 different businesses. So we would like our vendors, we don't require it, but we would like our vendors to have their own Facebook page, have their own identity, and then promote their space, and then that helps promote the shop as well. So just off the top of my head, we have the Twins Boutique, and they have their own following, and they promote the stuff that they bring into the shop, and then they tag the shop in it, and then the tag takes that same post and puts it on its page. So you can see how that just kind of puts out just more. It's a broader approach to everything if everybody treats their space as if it was its own business. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and start placing Facebook ads. I think that is for the shop to do. But definitely having a Facebook page and putting stuff up there and answering the questions that come in, how much is it? How tall is it? All that kind of stuff. You could do that on your own page and then allow the shop to take it over to their page. It's one less post that the shop has to do. We really just click and share it to our page. And then, we answer the questions if they come up that way or whatever. But yeah, just imagine if all 53 of my vendors in here had their own identity and did their own self-promotion, how great that would be. And I'll be honest with you, we don't have all 53 of our vendors doing that. We have a good handful, and it helps out tremendously to have them do that. People will come in to look at their items because they saw their post and then wound up buying something from one of the other vendors as well. So it's a win-win situation when they do that. I think we're going to wrap it up. I think 3 is enough for tonight. I appreciate everybody watching the show. I'm Jim. You've been watching Vendor Corner, brought to you by Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot, located at 502 West Brendan Road, Lakeland, Florida, 33813. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can put those in the comments down below. If you haven't already, give us a thumbs up maybe, and if you like the show and want to see more, you can subscribe to our channel. Now you will see Talking Vintage, which is our other show, which is basically about the shop itself, talking to our customers there, but Vendor Corner is its own playlist on our YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great evening.